Hello gamers, I'm NKZL, and in this video I would like to talk about the release of Throne and Liberty and some misinformation that is around this subject. Personally, this is the MMORPG that I'm looking forward to the most in 2023. For me, NCSoft has provided games that were fun, so when they decided to announce a new MMORPG, I started paying attention. I've seen some conflicting information in MMO news outlets, so I decided to look into the matter myself and form my own opinion on the subject. Despite the overall lack of information, I believe I reached a reasonable conclusion. As some of you might know, I do this as a hobby and I don't care about milking the subject for 10 videos, so I will try to deliver the information and my conclusion in a concise manner. That being said, if you enjoyed this video and want to support my channel, please consider leaving a like and subscribe. I will assume that you are here watching this video because you too are interested in Throne and Liberty. And if you're like me, the most important question regarding this game is when can we play it? We can look into all the information we have and at least form an opinion on when we can expect Throne and Liberty to be released. So the first piece of information we have is related to the NCSoft investor meeting that took place earlier in 2023. During this meeting, it's been said that their release window for Throne and Liberty will be the first half of 2023. Most gaming news outlets took that information and ran with it, making most of us believe that the game will be released globally in the first half of 2023. However, I spent a bit of time investigating this and I have found out that the information is false. That release window was referring to the release in Korea, and they also mentioned that before the global release they needed to contract a global publisher. Once that would be set up and the localization done for the game, only then we would see global tests and a potential release date. At this point in time, they have contracted Amazon's game studio, which are working on the localization of the game as I'm making this video. So there are a few things to take into consideration here. The first one is that AGS has also signed a contract with Bandai Namco for the release of Blue Protocol, which they seem more invested in at this time. For example, if you go look at Amazon's Game Studio website and look under the Games tab, you will see Blue Protocol, Lost Ark and New World. They have not made a section for Throne and Liberty yet. This means that Blue Protocol will probably release before Throne and Liberty. Since they are both MMORPGs, even though they have different styles, they will have some overlap in the audience. So they will most likely release Blue Protocol first, and only a few months after we can expect Throne and Liberty. The second point to consider is that Amazon's Game Studio most likely has to do the localization, and while they do quality work when it comes to the voice acting and in general translating the game, the time frame for this usually takes between 3 and 6 months. Another element related to localization that we have to consider is that, as we have seen in the past with Lost Ark and even Blue Protocol, Amazon's Game Studio will censor the game and do some questionable changes. For example, in Lost Ark they censored various NPC outfits and armors, but ended up releasing underwear and bikini costumes in the shop anyway. Hopefully this will not delay the game too much or affect the enjoyment of the game. The game is not developed by them, so we can expect the impact AGS will have on the game to be pretty minor. The last piece of information that has been going around is that AGS is having internal tests for Throne and Liberty. A few sources have confirmed this to be the case. However, this has not been officially confirmed, so take it with a pinch of salt. You might be wondering what this means. Well, this means that they have already a good part of the localization done and they are ready to get feedback from their own employees. Keep in mind, AGS is not the developer of the game, they are just in charge of localization and setting up the servers. So, they will be getting some people in to check if the translation is good enough and for an internal stress test of the server. The real test will be when they let the general public test the game, and there is still a while before we can expect those. So in my opinion, we will see Blue Protocol global test towards the beginning of summer and potentially a release date towards the end of summer. As for Throne and Liberty, my guess would be that we will have some tests sometimes during summer and the release will be sometimes in the autumn or even towards the end of the year. If you're like me and you're really looking forward to this game, waiting another 5 months or more for its release does not sound great. But this is my prediction, and only time will tell if it will hold up. Let me know in the comment section below what you think of this subject. Do you agree with me? Or do you believe it will be earlier, or even later than my prediction? If you enjoyed this video or want to support me in this hobby of mine, please consider dropping a like and subscribing to the channel. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one, gamers!